If you're seeing this, you are welcome to my channel. Now hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and hit the like. Thank you. So if you are seeing this channel for the first time, please subscribe, like, comment, and if you're an old comer, thank you very much for staying put. Okay, so you start by folding your fabric into two. As you can see, I folded it into two, and then with your tape you measure out your neckline. But first, we are going to be removing this label that came with the fabric. So because of that, we are creating a starting line. Okay, we are creating a starting line. So the next thing is to get our tape and measure our neck length. The neck length and the neck width, rather. The neck length I work with is 2 inches and the neck width I work with is 3 inches. Then you connect the lines together. The next is to get our shoulder, but because this is a free gown and I want the sleeve to be together with the shoulder, there will be no need of getting the shoulder. So I'm measuring the length of where I want the sleeve to stop. Okay, so the next thing is to get our shoulder slant. Even though it's a bubu dress, I still put my shoulder slant. I went in by 1 inch. See me connecting the dots, or marking the dots rather. Then I'm going to connect the dots. I'll connect it from where the neckline started to the last dot. Okay, to the last dot. Yeah, so this is my shoulder slant. So now the next thing is to get our bust points. So from shoulder, I placed my tape and I got 11 inches for the bust point. The next thing is our tummy or waist. So from shoulder, I counted from, if you can count 3 from the bust line, 3 inches from the bust line, or you can put your tape from the shoulder and get it. So I counted 3 from the bust line and I made my mark. So from this waist line, you count 8 inches to get your hip line. So that is it. So this is me making the mark for the hip line. So the next thing is to take our measurements. Okay, so on that bust line, you get your bust measurement and add extra 4 inches. Remember, it's a free gown, so you add as many inches as you want. So I added 4 inches, and I did the same thing on the tummy line or the waist line, and I also added 4 inches. I also did the same thing on the hip line, and I also added extra 4 inches. Now we are not connecting the lines together because this is not a fitted gown. This is a bubu gown. But the reason we did this measurement like this is so that you know where to take your mark from, to avoid confusion. So I'm taking my mark from the sleeve line to the hip line, and I want this to be a small cow bubu, to have a little cow bubu. So I didn't connect it from where I made my mark, the bust and waist mark. I connected it from the sleeve, the end, that's the edge of the sleeve, all the way to the hip line and all the way down. Okay, so now let's do our cutting. So we start by cutting out the neck, the shoulder, and straight down. So this is what you should be looking like. You should the ending part should be slimmer, or rather it should have a sharp cut towards the ending part. It should be slimmer. That's how you achieve that small bubu cuts. So let's open it up to see what we have done. Okay, so this is it. You see, the down part should be slimmer. You see, look at that V sharp cut, should be slimmer, while from the hip up should be bigger. Now the next thing is to cut the second part of this dress. This is just the first part. It could be the front, it could be the back, but for now we are cutting the same thing. Then later we'll now cut the neck of the front. So you place this first one on the remaining fabric and trace it out. Please, if you have gotten to this point in this video, give this a thumbs up. We are trying, it's not easy. Thank you for staying put. For my old subscribers, I'm grateful. So okay, I've traced out the second one. The next thing now is for us to now work on the neck of the front one. So I'm using this one as the front one. Now I'm going to be placing my tape to get my neck length. The neck length I work with is 9 inches. I made my mark. So now I'm going to, for that place I made my mark, I'm going to go in by 1 inch, just 1 inch. Okay, I've done that. Then I'm going to connect the line from the neck. So this is it. This is me connecting the line, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Please pay attention and see what I'm doing to avoid mistakes. Okay, so this is how to cut this type of neck, this type of V-neck. Okay, so this is it now. You see that 1 inch we made there earlier. So this is the back and the front together. We are going to join only the shoulder, because we have a lot of things to do on this gown. So joining the shoulder is just the first thing. So now this is that I've joined my shoulder without joining the side though, just the shoulders. Okay, I've joined the shoulders. Now we are going to measure the front neck so that we can go and cut that lapel or the build-up collar. So there are 2 types of ways of cutting this neck. You can do it this way, of measuring this neckline rather. You can do it this way. You can take your tape round, or you can hold it together like this. Make sure it's in the middle. Fold it together like this, and then measure it once. After you measure it once, whatever you get, you add it by 2. So I got 15, and I folded my tape, and it's 30 inches. Okay, so I'll go ahead and cut it. I've already cut it. I went in by 4 inches for the width, and the length, instead of making it that 30 inches, I added extra 4 inches to make it 34 inches, to avoid stories that touch. And now this is the first 4-corner design we are going to be placing on the chest. And when they are all 11 inches, equal 11 inches, all of it. Okay, so we're going to fold each of the edges. In case your fabric is stubborn, please use hemming gum to iron it together so that you can fold. Then we'll go ahead and sew this one straight. Okay, so I've sewn this one, the lapel or the build-up collar. I already sewed it. So the next thing now is to attach it to our fabric, to the neck of the fabric. Now I measured it again, and I got 34 inches. See, 30 inches was the initial measurement. I added 4 inches extra to avoid stories that touch you. It's better is more than you cut off the extra fabric than is not enough. So now you find the midpoint. Find the midpoint on your blouse, the midpoint of this neck. You can use chalk to mark it so you identify the midpoint, and then you go ahead and also from the midpoint of the lapel, you join it together, you connect it together, and then you pin it all around. Again, if you have watched this video to this point, please give it a thumbs up so that others can see. You can also drop a comment, you can share, you can save, you can download to watch later. Now we're going to sew. Okay, I'm done sewing it. I've sewn it round. Okay, and this is the extra fabric, but we're going to tuck it in because this is the right side of the fabric of the dress, so we're tucking it in now. And then I noticed it wasn't smooth. It didn't lap as I was tucking it in. It wasn't lapping. So in this case now, what did I do? I had to make a notch. Okay, so when you're making a notch, please be careful not to mess up your dress. I made a notch on this other side and also made a notch on the other side. Just a small notch. Okay, I've made a notch here already. And this other one I almost made the mess of this dress. The notch was too deep, but the luck I have is that I'm going to be using that 4-corner design to cover it up. So when you're making your own, please be careful not to cut too deep. Okay, so you see now I've tucked it in and it has obeyed. It has lapped very well now. You see, that is why notching is important sometimes. See now, it's no longer going to give me a problem. So we are going to now flip it over to the wrong side and pin it so that we can go to our machine and sew. Okay, so this is it. You cross it like this and pin. After pinning, you just sew it straight like that. So this is it. I've sewn it. Okay, See how neat it is now. And then we flip it over and cut off the extra fabric that we don't need. So if I had done this build-up collar exactly 30 inches, it would have still been okay, but my mind won't just let me. I must add extra inches. So this is it. It's already coming out really beautiful and perfect and neat. So it's time to join this four corner design rather. So you can leave it plain like this. You can leave it like this without folding the edge. You can also fold edge and place this way. You can place it this way as well. You can also turn it the other way around. You can put the folding down side. Just, play around it. It's actually not difficult. So mine, I'm going to just leave it up because I want it to have a small pocket. In some cases you can stitch everything, but me, I want to have just a small pocket on it. So I'm not going to be sewing that folded part. I'm only going to be sewing the other part of the edges, leaving that folded part. I'm going to sew here, 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 and here, and leave this part because I want it to have a small pocket. So now we're going to pin everything together and go to our sewing machine and sew. So this is why you shouldn't join the whole gown. You should only join shoulder, because if you had joined the whole gown before putting all these designs, it's going to be really, really difficult, doing. So please, when you're doing yours, be careful not to close up everything before putting designs. It's going to really give you problem. So I'm done sewing it. Okay, this is it, and now my pocket has really come out. Now it's time for us to put our sleeve. After the sleeve, then we'll go ahead and join the whole gown. And this sleeve will also be having that black design on it also. So I'll measure my sleeve. Whatever I get, I'll go to the black fabric and cut. So this is me cutting from the black fabric. Again, I went in by 4 inches for the width. It's 4 inches. Then I went ahead to cut. I'll make 2 of these because the sleeve is 2. One on this side and one on the other side of the sleeve. I'm done cutting, so it's time for us to go to our machine and join it. Okay, I've already done that. I've joined it on the 2 sleeves. This is it, and I've joined the gown, the whole gown. I'm completely done sewing this gown now. So now I want to get our pocket. I want this gown to also have inner side pockets. So I placed my tape on the shoulder and made the mark for where I want my pocket to start from. So initially I made 22 inches, but later I took it up to 21 inches because I felt it would be too down. So I took it up by 21 inches and then counted 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and made the mark for the down part. And I'll repeat the same thing on the other side of the gown. Place your tape on the shoulder, get 21 inches, count 6 from 21 inches, and make your mark. Now we're going to open up this space, and now with our extra fabric we're going to cut the pocket. Remember, it's 6 inches that we minused. So now place your tape and mark 6 inches. After that, you place your hand like this and trace out your hand, giving extra allowance. You see the tip of my fingers, there was extra. Like I didn't make exact. I didn't trace it out to be shorter or to be on the same line with my fingers. I had to give it extra space. So this is the first cutting. We also place it on the fabric and cut out the second one. Because if you cut it the exact length of your hand, the pocket will be short. So that's why I had to give that free space, so it to be longer and deep. So you sew round and sew round. So we are done sewing the round. It's now time for us to attach it into this gown so that we can finish up this dress. Remember, we made an opening here. Now we're going to fix the pockets inside this opening. flip it over to the right side. You can also do it on the left side though, if you know what you're doing, but let's flip it on the right side. And then we insert the pocket. The pocket is still on the wrong side though. You insert the pocket and then stitch it at that edge. You stitch it round at that edge. Okay, and repeat the same thing on the other side. So why the pocket is on the wrong side is so that when you now, after stitching it, I'm done, okay, like this, and I'm done stitching it, I'm going to bring out the pocket. You see that when you bring it out, it will not be on the right side. Exactly, you see, it will not be on the right side, instead of having all those rough edges of the left on the wrong side. So you see, I'm done stitching it. I have sewn the inner pocket perfectly, and I've also amended the edges so it won't look rough. So this gown is done, and I joined because I want mine to be longer. I don't want it to be short. This fabric is not by 60, so I had to join extra fabric down there to make it longer. That's why. So this is me wearing it. So thank you for watching. I appreciate. And if you watch this video to this point, Omo, thank you. I'm grateful. Bye.